begins when a disgraced former teacher, trying to rebuild her shattered psyche in a remote, storm-threatened New Hampshire cabin, opens her toolshed only to discover a traumatized, blood-spattered young girl clutching a lethal weapon and refusing to speak. You get The Intruder, a taut, claustrophobic psychological thriller by the master of domestic suspense, Freida McFadden. The narrative follows Casey Carter, a 35-year-old woman living in absolute isolation after losing her teaching job due to an incident of vigilante justice. As a massive, destructive storm closes in on the woods, Casey is already on edge due to a collapsing roof and a dangerously unstable tree out front. Her structural anxieties morph into absolute terror when she spots movement near her property and discovers a severely bruised, emaciated teenager hiding in her shed. The girl is soaked in blood, refuses to say where she came from, and fiercely grips a knife. Desperate to protect the child, Casey breaks her own rules of isolation and pulls the intruder into the warmth of her cabin. The true brilliance of this thriller lies in its exceptionally clever, dual timeline misdirection and the slow-burning peeling back of childhood trauma. McFadden anchors the narrative in the tension of the stormy now chapters while interspersing before flashbacks following Ella, a middle schooler living in extreme squalor with a severely abusive hoarder mother. The text drops deliberate breadcrumb clues that heavily imply the bloody girl in the shed, whom Casey discovers is named Eleanor, is the present-day manifestation of young Ella. The psychological friction inside the dark, power-deprived cabin escalates rapidly when Casey digs through Eleanor's backpack and finds a sinister hand-drawn map leading directly to her coordinates, alongside graphic drawings of violence. The suspense transforms into a pulse-pounding game of survival when Eleanor holds Casey at gunpoint, ties her to a chair, and slips out into the raging storm to execute a deadly, calculated mission of vengeance against a nearby target. Beneath the non-stop, popcorn thriller pacing and eerie forest atmosphere, The Intruder handles a profound, darker exploration of the multi-generational cycle of abuse, the fallibility of trust, and the permanent psychological scars of childhood neglect. In a spectacular signature Freida McFadden twist, the narrative axes the reader's assumptions. The before timeline of young Ella is actually revealed to be Casey's own tragic childhood backstory, explaining her protective obsession with damaged kids and her willingness to cross legal lines. Eleanor's real target in the woods isn't Casey at all. She is hunting down her own abusive mother, Jolene, who is hiding nearby. The narrative beautifully tracks how trauma fundamentally warps a person's moral compass, leading to a sequence of shifting allegiances where neighbors turn into suspects and the line between a victim and a cold-blooded killer completely dissolves. Supported by short, punchy chapters designed for effortless binging and a lean cast of highly suspicious local characters, including a dismissive landlord and an overly attentive neighbor named Lee Traynor, this novel represents a remarkably tight, satisfying puzzle box. McFadden seamlessly connects the loose ends of the past fire that killed Ella's mother with the present-day bloodbath in the woods, ensuring that every character's proximity to the remote woods carries a chilling purpose. The final act escalates into a jaw-dropping sequence of overlapping familial betrayals, culminating in a brilliant, multi-layered twist regarding a hidden sibling relationship and a prison sacrifice that leaves readers completely blindsided. Ultimately, The Intruder delivers an unforgettable, highly addictive reading experience that proves no matter how deep you bury yourself in the isolated wilderness, the ghosts of a violent past will always find a way inside.